are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's so good to see your face. Okay, so I wanted to just jump right in because when I was thinking about people to interview, you were obviously on our list, but I was like, Emily has such a dynamic personality and such a wide range of interests. Like, literally, you report on some of the most complex issues. You're a journalist, reporter. You lived in the Middle East and specifically in Jerusalem for what, 5 years? Is it longer?
Yeah, a little over 5 years.
5 years. And you're a jujitsu fighter, a blue belt jujitsu fighter, right?
Yes, I love jiu-jitsu. I'm a competitor.
Wow. And like obviously like your love of glam and like your femininity, it's such a unique mix to all that makes Emily Jones who she is. So tell me about how you got into first reporting and then jujitsu. Cause like those
Yeah,
are two like I mean they're similar, but like they're also two different worlds.
Yeah, and they actually kind of married each other in how I got into it. So I got into journalism when I was in college, and I got an internship at a news organization. And I knew this news organization had a office and a bureau in Jerusalem. And so, you knew me. This is before, like I went on PLI before I even moved to the Middle East. But it has always been the Middle East has been my central focus, like in life up until then. Like it was just so fascinating to me. So long story short, a job opened up in Jerusalem, and literally my dream came true, and I moved there. I moved there in 2019, and it was honestly everything I wanted. Living in the middle of the city, being fully immersed in the culture. And then 2020 hit and COVID hit, and like the entire world shut down. And I was looking for things to do that were like outdoor activities that I was still able to like participate in. And there was an outdoor gym that was teaching Krav Maga. And Krav Maga is an Israeli martial art that obviously is very popular in that part of the world. And then from there, I, took a class, and I remember going to bed after taking that class, and I was like, whatever I just did, I want to do that every day for the rest of my life. Like martial arts just kind of like was this light bulb that came off for me, because it is about like solving problems with your body and with your mind. It's a chess game that you're playing with the other person. So I, got into Krav, then I got into kickboxing, then I did a little bit of judo, and then I got into Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And to be honest, I hated jujitsu because I was always the smallest girl in the gym. I'm training against guys that are literally 180, and I just could not execute the techniques against like a real fighting dynamic person. And so then long story short, when I moved back to America, one of the first things I did was like, listen, I hate jujitsu, but what if I just gave it 6 months? Like I could find the best gym in my area, give it 6 months, go all in. And I found an amazing gym with a lot of young women who are like my size. And I fell in love with the sport. And I've been competing a lot, winning. And I'm just really excited to really expand that part of me. And it really has like been the place that I've kind of come home into when I was, overseas, whether I'm in America. Martial arts has kind of always been that language that made sense wherever I was in the globe. So
Walk me through a little bit about how your day as a fighter, as you're on the floor mat, like what are your emotions? Like how do you prepare yourself for like a fight?
yeah. So how I prepare for a regular day for me would be like going to work all day and then literally running to the train because I'm so excited to go to jujitsu after that. Showing up to class and thinking about the areas of my game, areas of my strategy that I really need to work on. So when we go into class, of course, you're going to learn specific core ideas or techniques or whatever. But I'm also thinking like, how can I like evolve those core ideas or apply those core ideas to very specific things that I'm trying to improve in myself and in my game or strategy. It's when I walk into my academy, honestly, like I feel so much stress just leave my body because this really does feel like home. Like I have my mentors here, I have my coaches and my teammates, and like even though it's a very like violent, whatever activity, it's very fun. Like we're all giggly and joking around. We're very unserious. It's just a very fun environment. And then I get ready for about 2.5 hours of like hard training, of rolling, of like going through techniques, asking questions to my coach. Now, on competition days, tournament days are much different. Tournament days, I am waking up, I am checking when my matches are going to begin because I need to make sure I'm at the venue at least like an hour beforehand. I'm, talking with my training partners, I'm talking with my coaches because I really need like verbal affirmation and communication before I step on that mat. Because when you step on the mat and it's just like you see the referee and you see your opponent on the other side, and the referee says, all right, both of you guys come out, and you go and you look at the person who you're fighting in the eyes and you shake hands, and he says go or he says fight or combat. It's like I have chills like describing it because it is one of the most intense experiences. It feels very lonely, but it's also not lonely because you have your coach on the mat, like right next to you, coaching you through the entire fight. So in the first few seconds, I'm just like, okay, what is this person going to do? I'm trying to fill them out. I'm trying to, feint some like takedowns or like wrestle them a little bit just to see, like, feel them, and then from there like really execute my strategy and try to play my game. Like I like to be on top, I like to isolate arms, I like to break, I like to choke, I like to find ways to get to the back, I love to wrestle. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about a lot. And I'm also, while I'm fighting, really trying to listen for the voice of my coach who's, saying things like, hey, watch out for this, think about that. Or I just might need the affirmation of like, I'm about to go for something. Is now the time? And I like look at my coach and we're like, yeah, like let's do it. So it's like a whole very emotional, physical experience. And I love it. Win or lose, I've lost, I've won, and I walk off the mats every time. Like that was so fun.
Girl, though listening to you explain that, I just saw a parallel between like a spiritual warfare and listening to your coach's voice. Like it just reminded me of like listening to God's voice as we're preparing for a battle. Wait, like how has your faith influenced, if it has influenced the way that you fight, or is it vice versa? Has your fight, learning how to fight, influenced your faith?
I think it's honestly both ways. Like, I feel like I've learned so much about the Lord and discipleship through jujitsu and like vice versa. So, when I'm fighting, like I do feel like it's just every sense is heightened. Like everything, like my sense of touch and like my reaction time, like everything is just kind of like on another level. And part of that is adrenaline, but I also don't want to make it so much about me. So I do really like, I love the verses like he prepares my arms for battle, he trains me for war. Like those are things that I think about when I go into jujitsu and into a match. I'm like, thank you, Lord, for giving me a healthy body that's able to go and fight somebody. Like every single reaction, every single strategy, every movement that I make is literally because of you, because you are living and breathing through me and you've given me this gift. And I'm also asking for protection when I go because it is, it's a fight. Um, but I really feel like I've learned how crucial and beautiful listening to the Lord's voice is through fighting. Because when I'm in the middle of a match and I'm in like deep waters where I'm just like, I'm not sure where to go, the only voice I want to hear is my coach. And there's a lot happening. It's overstimulating. There's other matches happening right next to you. There's people screaming. You can hear your opponent's coach telling them how to fight you and beat you. And like, there have just been moments where like I just clearly hear my coach's voice and it's just so reassuring. And like he might not even give me a full sentence, but it might be a word or a look. But because we know each other so well, I know what he's saying to me in that moment. And it's exactly what I need to hear to continue that fight. And I'm like, wow, isn't the Lord the same way? Whether it's spiritual warfare or the same, or like, going through a normal day, like to be able to fine tune a sensitivity to his voice is so critical in every area of your life, whether it's on the mat, whether it's in a conflict zone like I was, like fight, like reporting in the Middle East, whether it's in the grocery store with your friends, whatever, being able to know how to distinguish his voice from the crowd, especially when everything is so overstimulating. I feel like I've learned that in jujitsu. And on top of that, I've also learned how important it is to be very careful about who you let speak into your life when you're in those very rough situations, when you're in a fight. Like, making sure it's the person with the right tone, with the right words, with the right, like, who knows you, who, like, that's so critical. So I feel like I've learned so much, like, both ways. And that's why, partially why I love it so much is it's like how I show up on the mat can also translate to how I show up in real life and also my relationship with the Lord. So yeah.
That's so good. Like you're right. We do live in such a overstimulated society where it's like people start to become numb to things and then start not recognizing voices. I heard it once where if you were in a room and there was like a crowd of like 20 people and everyone was saying your name, and for spouses, like, wouldn't you be able to pick out your spouse's voice or like your sister, your mother's voice in that crowd? Like, you would know their voice because you are so in tune with them. Same thing with your coach, and same thing with listening to God's voice. Like, being so in sync or so in tune with like your coach and with God's voice, will listening to their commands and to their advice is so crucial in coming out victorious, because no matter what, it's a victory in the end. It's a victory even if you lose on the mat because you got there, you competed.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Uh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
And I will say one of my favorite things that I love to hear from my coach when I'm in the middle of the match is, "You're okay. You're okay." Like, because there's times when I'm like, okay, this did not really go to plan. Maybe I'm still in a dominant position, but this isn't really the position that I wanted to be in. And just hearing like, "You're okay. That's fine. She doesn't have anything." Like, it's really reassuring to me. It's like, okay, yeah, like I can calm down. And so one of the things that, like, I was talking about, like, working on my strategy, one of the things that I've been really working on this year is like really fine tuning how I can show up the best on the mats, mentally. And for me, I really want to focus on like slowing down and like really hearing and really just being in the moment and not being swept up by all the overstimulating tournament vibes. And so I really feel that this last tournament that I fought at in New Jersey was like the most calm, the most like present, the most just like in control of my mind I felt in a while. And it was just because I had to constantly put myself in that stress and just try different things to be like, how do I show up as the best Emily? And how do I make sure I hear my coach the best? And yeah, it's really something, it's a spiritual discipline, I will say.
Indeed, really sounds like it. Thanks, Emily. I know that this whole parable community is gonna be so excited. They're gonna be like, "What? There's a jujitsu woman fighter? What? That's awesome!"
Yes, we love
Yay.
it. Join us on the mats. We love it.
Love you.
Love you too.